Welcome to another episode of what I am calling today Diet Coke with Capril. Hey, I recently got a email from one of you, my client, asking for a little clarification on how the whole capital gains process works as it relates to homes. If you've been in your house for at least the last 10 years, chances are you've seen quite a bit of increase in value. 2020 hit, things took off. The home that I bought in Franklin, Tennessee in 2018 has almost exactly doubled in that period of time. Highly unusual. Never had any luck like that before. Some areas are definitely hotter than others. So now the question becomes, well, what happens about capital gains taxes on that? For a long time when I was a kid, you had a one-time capital gain exclusion. I think it was $125,000, and you had to wait till 55 before you did it. You had one bite at the apple. They changed that law. Now, they changed that law a while ago, but they've never really indexed it for inflation. So basically, here's the way it works. If you're single and if you've lived in a house, doesn't matter how old you are, 3 out of the last 5 years as your primary home, then you can sell it at a profit, keep the profit. You don't have to go invest in another home. And as long as the gains on that, the difference between what you sold the house for versus what you paid for it is $250,000 or less, there's no capital gains tax. You get to keep it all. If you're married, you can double that, $500,000. So that seemed very generous when they changed that law, I think back in 2010. The problem is they never indexed it for inflation. And now a lot of people who maybe paid $400,000 for their home are now looking at it being worth $1 million just simply because of all this run up. All right, so what does that mean? How do you do the math on this? All right, well, I want to make sure we're very clear about this. Again, it's only on the gain. So let's say somebody paid $300,000 for a house. And over the years, maybe made about $100,000 worth of improvements, and now is selling it for, say, $600,000. Well, first of all, the gain is $200,000, right? So if the gain is $200,000 and you're single and you've lived there 3 of the last 5 years, you're allowed to exempt $250,000 worth of gain, so no tax, all right? If the gain had been more, say 300,000, well, now you would owe tax on 50,000. 300,000 minus 250,000, right? So depending on what bracket you're in, let's just say state and federal comes to 20%, $50,000, 20%, $10,000 worth of tax owed. Now, if you sell the house and you buy a more expensive one, well, you're allowed to transfer that cost basis into the new house, which means you would defer the tax even more. All right. I want to emphasize this because I know a lot of people seeing the run up on real estate think maybe I should cash out and maybe put some of those profits in my portfolio, find someplace less expensive to live. Yeah, if you can do it, do it. I will tell you, though, it may require you go to a different market. So Nashville is a lot more expensive than Cincinnati. And so this is basically what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be selling a house in Nashville that is considerably smaller and of, I would say, less quality than the one I'm buying here in Cincinnati. And the one I'm buying in Cincinnati is going to cost less. It happens. It's a different market. Now, if I was to try to do this in Nashville, no, I would have spent significantly more. So sometimes you have to change markets before you're, you can do that. But if you're not sure about the math on this, please don't hesitate. Reach out, call me. Point is that you may owe some tax, but it may not be as punitive as you might think. Let's do the math and we'll figure it out. Take care.